All right, welcome to the next episode of Infinity Wrestling Talk. I'm Zubin and I'm here with Horace Cates, and today we're going to do an early preview of Virginia Tech Wrestling for 2026-2027 season. And let's get right into it.
Yeah, so obviously the season's over, so we're like, what are we gonna do? So we decided we'd go into previews next. So first, we're gonna talk a little bit about what they did this year. Sixth place finish at the national duels. Obviously, that was a good start to the season for everybody. They lost twice to Minnesota. That's actually the only team they lost to there. And they won the ACC regular season dual championships and had a really good ACC tournament. Five individual champs, eight people in the finals. They advanced everyone to NCAA's. So obviously
Yeah,
they were on a tear.
yeah, their start to the season at the national duels, their lineup. I mean, obviously Ninja was in there and Seidel wasn't in there for the national duels, right? So how much do you know how many other how close their lineup was? Because Gage or Guy, sorry, Guy finished or took the place for Ninja, right?
Yeah, and Campbell was in there instead of Seidel.
Seidel. Okay.
So they weren't
So
quite full strength, but I mean, Ninja is. I, I didn't think he was that far off from Guy. Obviously, Guy AA'd, which we'll talk about. And obviously Seidel is a jump up over pretty much anyone. But they were they were competitive with Minnesota, so it'll be really interesting to see. Hopefully, they get invited next year. They just announced it was the top 10 from NCAA's got it, and as we'll see on this next slide, they had four seeded in the top four going into Cleveland. So I mean, I was telling you I was really high on Virginia Tech, a little bit of my homer going on, but then
yeah, I thought they were gonna do good too. I mean, they didn't do bad. It was just I don't think everyone wrestled as good as they needed to.
yeah, they underperformed a little bit, and so with that, they ended just outside of the top 10 in 11th. They did have two true freshman All Americans, the two guys we were just talking about, and Seidel getting third and Guy getting fifth. But yeah, Ventresca and Sasso. Ventresca was seeded second, Sasso fourth. Neither one of them AA really kind of hurt. I mean, you think about it, one of those two guys gets All American and they jump up, they might even be in ninth. They're only seven behind Minnesota.
Yeah, I think they definitely should have finished in the top five, in my opinion, just based off of seeds, right? But I mean, definitely a young team, right? I mean, you only had what, one senior in the lineup, if I'm
Uh,
correct.
so there's technically three seniors. So we'll talk about it now here, the returning starters. So they had three seniors. Ethan Miller came over from Maryland. He's definitely done. And the other two were Ventresca and Bullock. But they both have a medical red shirt available. So I'm not sure if they're coming back, but I put them on here because there is the potential for them to come back. So yeah, very young, like you're
Okay.
saying.
Yeah, so I think I mean, and obviously, um, those, Seidel and Guy are just, hopefully just keep getting better, and then Sasso should pick it up, and then I was surprised Ventresca had his exit when he did. I really thought he was gonna AA. But I mean, I still think everything's looking up. And I mean, as far as being invited to the national duels, I actually think they'll actually end up getting an invite. I don't think Penn State's gonna show up. So I'd actually do think that Virginia Tech gets an invite to
Well,
it.
I think they do the top 10 and then they do random draw of the next like 12, right? So 7 of the next 12 because I agree with you, Penn State's probably not going to be there. So, I mean, I hopefully Tech comes and maybe they'll just pass that automatic from Penn State to them. Um,
Right.
that's what I would hope because I think Virginia Tech is going to have a pretty good dual team next year. I mean, you look at all these guys right on this screen that are coming back. Ventresca's a two-time All-American. Seidel, true freshman All-American. I think he should have been seeded second or third. He got hurt by the Big Ten bias, or he probably would have been in the finals against Jax, in my opinion. Seeing how he handled Blaze and Ayala on the backside for that matter. Only match that he was in trouble was Jax, which Jax majored him. I mean, but Jax is on a different level,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Crook is a three-time qualifier. Guy, true freshman All-American. Church, a two-time qualifier. Desiante, two-time qualifier. He just transferred from Chattanooga this year. Bullock's a two-time qualifier. And Mullen is a sophomore, was a redshirt sophomore this year, two times qualifier. This was Sasso's first trip, but he's young too, redshirt sophomore. So I mean, you're right. There's a ton of youth that was in their starting lineup, and then I mean, they have even more, you know, coming back that were either redshirting or injured this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they get a huge bump from Caleb Henson, right? Like,
Yeah,
what did won it, it took second.
and he was
Did he play
fifth his freshman
his
year.
freshman?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. So I mean, he's gonna be a four-time All-American for sure, right? Unless, knock on wood for injury's sake, but I mean, he's got the talent, and I expect him to be somewhere, in that lineup and causing havoc, and more than likely finishing his career with the national title. So, and I mean, no one injured, right? We both saw him at high school wrestling. I think he's solid. He had a great start to the season. His Midlands was rough a little bit, right? But I mean, that's when Guy took over, and so I don't know if they just decided to redshirt him for the rest of the year, or
I think he was
if
dealing with something kind of injury. I mean, like you said, he was a four-timer here in Virginia, and
yeah,
last year he had a really close match with Bo Bassett at the Super 32. Well,
yeah,
as close as people get to Bo Bassett. I mean, he got the first takedown, and I was like, oh man, Ninja's going to do something here. He ended up, I think, getting majored or maybe even
yeah,
teched, but it's hard to keep up with that pace, obviously. But yeah, I think he will. It might be hard for him to find a spot in the lineup just because Tech is going to be so solid from 25 to 57 that
yeah.
they're running into the problem that Penn State's had for 10 years now where they're going to have some weights where in my opinion they have more than one all-American potential guy and one of them is not going to get the nod.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Um, obviously Henson's gonna be in there, and then, I mean, we talked about Bassett. I mean, I know he's on an upcoming slide, but he's gonna more than likely get a spot. I don't see why he's not gonna. After Jax did what he did, there's definitely, he's gonna want to be in the lineup. I think Andrews should bulk. I think that's his best avenue, because I mean, he's gonna at least have next year. I mean, unless he plans on redshirting the complete year next year or doing something different. But if he bulks, I think he has a better shot at going there. I mean, who was at 65 this year?
Church.
Church. Yeah, I mean, obviously not a bad wrestler, but I don't know. Obviously, seeing what Ninja can do in the beginning of the season, and then Um, if he bulks, I think legitimately has a shot at being in the lineup, because 2 years. I mean, think about it. 2 years from now, Melvin Miller's coming, so we gotta find our way to for him to etch his place in the lineup somewhere.
Yeah, and like Guy has a red shirt. I mean, it's obviously hard to tell like a guy to red shirt right after he got All American as a true freshman. But yeah, I mean, even Drew Gorman coming back, not quite up there, but he was a 41 this year. He was a four-time Georgia state champ. He had a pretty solid redshirt year. And then you look one weight above 65 at Ryan Burton. That dude was a two-time New Jersey state champ. I think his senior year he won Fargo, the Super 32, Powerade. He majored Will Denny this year, beat EJ Parco. So I mean that's going to be a solid guy coming into the lineup next year too. So really they have some notable guys that will be coming in that were already in the room. And then of course you add on to that their recruiting class, which obviously everyone knows Bo Bassett is the guy to talk about there. But they've also got Rosas from Louisiana, Rocha from California, and Roby from Virginia. So Rosas was a four-time Louisiana state champion. Rocha was a two-time finalist in California. He just won it this year. Won NHSCA's last year. He was committed to Purdue, but he flipped in the middle of the season. And then, obviously Bo Bassett is what can you say about Bo Bassett that people haven't said already? He wins everything. He's only got three Pennsylvania titles. That's because they wouldn't let McCourt wrestle 3 years ago.
Yeah.
He's undefeated in high school. He's got four Super 32 titles. Never really. I think he's like 170-0 with 165 of those wins in high school being bonus.
Yeah, he has a ridiculous percentage as far as bonus in high school. Yeah, I mean, as far as like on paper, and then on watching him wrestle, I mean, I wouldn't say ever, but the best recruit that I've seen in the modern era. Like, I mean, David Taylor and all those guys, Stever, they were all awesome, but at what Bo does, I mean, and how mainstream he is, right? Back then, it wasn't as big as far. I mean, they were great wrestlers. Don't get me wrong; they were all like number one recruits when they were coming out. But I mean, as far as the media coverage that Bo Bassett has, and he's reaching and his reach to everybody. I mean, our wrestlers on our team who've only wrestled for maybe a year know who Bo Bassett is, right? So
Yeah, the amount of hype behind him, and then I mean, I think he proved that it's more than just hype because he wrestled Jackson Joy this year and beat him 11-1, who
yeah, no,
was seeded what two going into the NCAA's.
yeah,
So obviously he's ready to make an impact. Is just going to be, and I think after what Jax did this year, he's not going to sit around and wait. So I think he's going to be inserted like right away next year. But he is, I just watched him. He won at RAF against I can't say the guy's name, but he was an Olympic champ from 2016. Obviously, a little age difference there, but it was nice when you saw Bo Bass come out. He's repping Tech, so I think some people are scared he might flip again, but I'm excited to see him at Tech, especially because it's probably the closest D1 school we have. So I'm gonna try to get up there and watch him wrestle because I think he's gonna make some noise immediately.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it'll definitely be interesting to see where they put, because Seidel, Bassett, and then Henson, right? That's a pretty nasty murderer's row if you think about it, and and then you have Guy right after him, right?
Yeah, so
So,
if we look at like potential lineups, right? So I kind of just threw this together. 25 Ventresca, but you could even say maybe Rosas will be in there. He just won at the Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic. He beat Deputy from Pennsylvania pretty handily. And then you go up to 33. Of course, you got Seidel. Um, Dylan Campbell will be coming back off redshirt. So, do you redshirt Seidel? What do you do with him? Obviously, he's a threat no matter where he's at. And then it becomes really really tricky because it's like Caleb Henson has says he wants to go 49 again. So then where does Bo Bassett go? 41. I think he might cut to 41. At RAF, he was wrestling at 44. So another 3 pounds. 57. You got Guy, maybe Ninja. 65, Mac Church coming back, or does Melvin Miller see what Jax Forrest does and see his brother Bo at Tech and want to do what Jax Forrest did? I, I don't know, man. It's crazy to see that happen this year. 74, Desiante and possibly Ryan Burton come. I think Burton's the better choice coming back. 84 is probably right now to me the biggest question mark for them. Um, you've got either Roby maybe as a true freshman or Bullock getting that medical red shirt. Or maybe Rocha comes in as a true freshman and does something. Sonny Sasso at 97 and Mullen at 285. But so again, I think from looking at these guys from 25 to 57, it's just that's an awesome five to start with. And then
Yeah, for sure.
I think that maybe they do some work in the transfer portal and address. They're not even really holes, but it just seems like from 74 up, they don't quite as or 65 up, I guess, doesn't quite as have the same punch as from 25 through 57.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, and Roby's good. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think there's a lot of talent there, but there's a lot of potential to unfold for Roby, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Obviously, he dominated in Virginia and at the what Class 3 tournament
yeah.
for the past 2 years. But I think there's a lot of talent there, and obviously,
He's got some good
you know,
genes.
yeah, that's it. It helps when your dad's a coach, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, like I said, I think that will be the somewhere in the 84, 97, 285. I mean, Sasso had a pretty good year, and then kind of he had a bad NCAA's. So everyone has a bad turn now and then. It just sucks that it was there. But you just got to think like, are they gonna address it with the transfer portal? Because obviously nowadays we got to talk about that, right? The transfer portal is a big thing. Like Crookham just entered the transfer portal. I don't think he has a spot at Tech, but there's probably going to be other big guys like that who are or big name guys who are in the transfer portal, and if they get a heavier weight, they can make this team even better. So looking forward, questions are like, how good is their dual team going to be? Are they going to repeat as ACC champions? Where are they going to finish at the nationals, and what kind of potential AAs do they have? So for me, I mean I think they're going to be a really hard dual team to deal with. Again, those front five are going to be as good as pretty much any team's front five, I think. So they'll be up maybe 5 matches, nothing if they start at 25 against a lot of guys. So I think the ACC is getting better. Stanford made a splash. NC State made a splash at nationals. They're both pretty young teams, but I think Tech, while they had a dip at nationals, they really dominated the ACC tournament, and I don't see why that doesn't continue. Um, I could see them being a trophy team next year with this lineup, with maybe even those first five all Americaning, and then maybe like Sonny Sasso, maybe six AAs next year, something like that. So I think they're going to be a really, really solid team all the way through.
Yeah, for sure. I hope they, so for one, I mean, obviously, I hope they go to the duels. It'll be a good test to see how their dual team is. But yeah, I agree with you. I think their dual team, that front five, is pretty stout. I mean, there's only a handful of teams, I think, in the nation that will be able to handle that front five, and we're talking about Penn State, Oklahoma State. Everybody else, that front five's probably gonna handle pretty easily, for the most part. But I definitely think they repeat as ACC champions in dual season and also at the tournament. Team finish, yeah, I definitely think they have the ability to finish top four. I think um, because this was a pretty young national tournament overall. So I don't know if they finished top four, but I will go out on a limb and say they're in the top five. And if they're number five, because even Nebraska's young, Oklahoma State's pretty young, Penn State only graduates Levi. So the top three teams are still there. Iowa, I think they overperformed at the national tournament. So we'll see. Ohio State lost a hammer. So we'll see how that goes. But I definitely see them being a top five team. If they have the ability to trophy. I don't know if they actually will. And I think potential AAs. I think you're pretty close. I think 5 to 6 is pretty good. Sasso has a better tournament. Um, and then you get six on the front five, and then a five from the front five. So yeah, six is definitely a good chance. I don't see why not. And Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I mean, exciting to have a Virginia team look like outlook be that high is really exciting. I mean, something for our kids to look into from our program standpoint. And I mean, it's been a while since Virginia's had a good college team.
Yeah, and Tech is definitely, what Tony Roby's doing up there is amazing. What they've been putting together, and it's all coming together. Seemingly next year is the genesis of it all. um, where they have Bo Bassett coming in. They've got Seidel still there. They've got Miller in a year, or maybe he reclasses like Jax, who knows, right? And just those three young guys right there are a nucleus of just hammers. And they all have the right mindset. They all wrestle super hard. I don't think I've ever seen anyone wrestle harder than Bo Bassett. Maybe Mitchell Messenbrink. I don't know. If you put those two guys in a room and just said, like, go for 30 minutes and kept score, it might be 300 to 300 when all was said and done. Because neither one of those guys seems to have, like, any kind of cardio issue ever. So
Right.
it'll be exciting to watch this team grow as we go on. But yeah, I'm super excited for the outlook. I try to temper my home state bias a little bit, but I think it's more than just bias at this point. I think they really are gonna make some moves and are on the upward trajectory for sure.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, and I get the home state bias, right? I'm Rutgers bias, but your outlook, I mean, objectively looking, it looks good. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. Now it's just I'm on paper, right? Looking at it, like if your lineup holds true, it's a pretty stout lineup. It's dangerous, and now they just gotta go out there and perform.
Yeah, definitely going to be exciting to watch. But that's going to wrap up this episode where again the NCAA's are over. So we said we're going to try to get out videos every week. We're going to try to do a preview every week of a different team. Not sure who we're going to do next, but we're definitely going to look at who we think are the top 10. So we appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you did, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah.